Guys, one of you asked me which tarot card deck I recommend. Actually, several of you have, and I think I made a video on this before, but it's been a while. So I'm just going to make another one so you have it kind of right up at the top when you look into your videos. If you're looking for a reading on missing people, this isn't going to be that one. But if you are into tarot cards and things like that, I can maybe help you a little bit if you are looking to start. I think you should. I think it's so fun. Um, and the more you do it, the better you're going to get, the more you're going to expand your knowledge and learn. And, how can you go wrong with that? So, the deck I recommend is the deck I started with, which is the Rider-Waite deck. This regular old Pamela Coleman Smith was the person who made this deck. I want to say it was made in the early 1900s. I want to say 1908 or something like that, but don't quote me on it because I'm not 100% sure of that. No, it was early 1900s. It's got a lot of imagery on it. It's got a lot, in here, what do you see? You see rocks, you see the water, you see the swords too. So, there's sort of a decision going on because swords are your thoughts. You see the moon in there, which is like a little bit of trepidation, a little bit unsure. She's blindfolded. So, like she doesn't have all the facts to make that decision, right? There's just so much in the cards that you can look at and make connections to what you're seeing, and your mind will throw in things too. You'll see as you do it more and more, you'll just like start getting information. Why do I recommend this deck? For all of the imagery, I also feel like it's been around so long that there is just a ton of stuff on this deck online. There's a lot of people create their own decks, and there's some beautiful decks out there. I have some beautiful decks. I like collecting decks that are like real works of art. Some of them are amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you'll probably, as you get cards, start collecting your own too, because it's inevitable that you'll, if you enjoy artwork, which I do, it's like having a little painting. I actually have some of these images on my walls in my house, so because I think they're so beautiful, and some of them just mean a lot to me. That said, and as you can see, I have a whole, pretty much a whole deck up there. I have. I will show you my room. It's a little ridiculous. Over here, I have stuff. I make little card art stuff that's on that bed right there that you just saw. Um, and out of what is it? It's made out of tarot cards. You think I'm in a little deep? Yeah, I am. I admit it. I love my tarot cards. But and those are all beautiful decks. They're not the one that I read from though. I will go and actually read from other decks, my beautiful decks. And what will I see? I'll get the two of swords from their deck, but in my mind I'm being led to the pictures on this Rider-Waite deck. Riderwaite. It is the deck that speaks to me, that I find most information onto. That's where I was going with that. Because if you go online, being that this deck is so old and has so much history, there's a lot more about it online. So if you're going to start with a deck that has a lot of information about it, that you can just look up the imagery and easily get the meanings of what the deck is. And I think it's done well too. Like, for example, this moon card, you can see the dog, you can see the wolf. You can ask yourself the differences between a dog and a wolf. Wolf is much more instinctual. Dog's been domesticated. You can see the lobster about to take this path into sort of the unknown. You could see the moon kind of looking down. And there's just this feeling in the card with the looks on their face and being drawn to the way that the moon pulls the tide, being drawn to the moon, wanting to howl at the moon, which dogs and wolves will do. But what does that symbolize to you? There's a lot of things that, there's even songs, right? Howling at the moon, yada, yada, yada. You can infer a lot from the imagery of these cards and what the card is actually telling you. Sometimes this card can stand for mental illness. It can stand for trepidation. It could stand for things that are, is it a reflection The moon reflects, right? Is what you're seeing real or is it a reflection? So lots and lots of imagery, and even better, lots of websites that will talk about these cards, and that's why I suggest you get the Rider-Waite deck. That said, you'll probably want some of those pretty decks too. But that's where I would start, Rider-Waite, Pamela Coleman Smith. There are a few different ones like Universal Rider-Waite or what have you. I go with the standard Rider-Waite deck. I do have a little bit of spin-off. I think some tarot decks get so far away from what, for instance, let me show you this. You know, these are really pretty, right? They're pretty cards. I like them for the imagery, but they're pretty far away from what the actual meaning of the cards is, if you know the meaning of the cards. When you get to the point that you're looking at the cards and you can't even tell what card they are, they've gone that far. To me, it doesn't make sense to read from that deck. Some people do. That first one I showed you, I mean, look at these. These are beautiful cards. They're all little girls, and they're gorgeous. Look at them. Look at the artwork. It's absolutely beautiful. But would I want to read from this deck? Would I know what card that is? Or this one? Or that one? Or that one for a matter? This might be a 2. There's 2 faces there. But no, I can't read that deck. I have no clue what that deck is saying. It's pretty pictures, though, and I make art with them. So I would suggest just getting the one that you can look at and tell what it means pretty much by looking at the pictures. I know some people say there's no good cards and bad cards, but I can hold this card up. And what does it look like? It looks like people are having fun. 3 ladies coming together, enjoying things, having a good time, and I can hold this card up. And there's a whole different feel in this card to that card. And you, even not even being able to read tarot, can catch that feeling, right? You can just look. A little nervous, a little worried, having fun, having a good time, enjoying yourselves, having drinks. Which one would you want to be? Which one's negative? It's not really negative. They're all just pointing you to understanding, right? And sometimes we have to go through the negative to understand what is positive in our lives. So there you go. That is my information on the deck. Rider-Waite is the way I would go all the way. Take care of people. Someday I am going to put together tarot classes. I keep saying it. One day when I'm not so busy. Bye.